this is just a drill at the police training grounds in Fairfax County. As the automatic fire breaks the early morning silence, police departments and branches from all over the D.C. area have gathered for the training.
Do double and triple checks to make sure there's no live rounds or weapons introduced in the training.
Brian Ruck is one of the SWAT team officers who coordinated today's training program. With Fairfax County's close proximity to downtown D.C. and many strategic locations, Officer Ruck and his fellow officers saw the importance of gathering many of the region's agencies together for a training in a worst-case scenario.
National Capital Region, it's obviously a very, very big target, so we realized quickly that we need to come together as police agencies, both state, federal, and local, to work together and try to solve all these problems, because it's going to be huge when it happens.
Whatever, but we do not need to go hands-on, and as you get closer to those rifles, go ahead and take the rifles off them. I don't want muzzle flash on them either.
Using high-caliber, semi, and fully automatic weapons today, part of the training itself is to introduce police officers to the startling sounds of machine gun fire, which can startle even veteran officers. Lieutenant Christian Quinn is a Fairfax County police officer with the bike unit.
So this is more a terrorist threat, a school shooting, a paramilitary style attack like we saw in Mumbai. This is a worst case scenario that law enforcement is not typically confronted with and doesn't have the usual tools or our normal methods of maybe setting up a perimeter or something like that would leave the folks inside at jeopardy. So this is more taking a almost an assaultive approach, if you will, to try to get in there and remedy the situation as quick as you can, get to the injured and the wounded and evacuate them.
Officer Ruck gives the thumbs up to start today's training, and the officers move into position to clear the buildings, with multiple shooters positioned to slow their progression. A training that was developed largely in response to the Mumbai attacks in India, Fairfax County Police Department is making it a requirement for all of its 1,400 officers. Lead trainer today, SWAT Sergeant Sean Scott of Fairfax County Police, has certain tactics he's trying to instill.
What we're doing is we're taking some of your military concepts and principles and applying them in law enforcement to respond to a more advanced threat.
The theory is if they're exposed to it in training, they won't be rattled if they encounter it in real life. With counterterrorism on the minds of many police departments around the nation, it is especially important for counties with close proximity to high-value targets.
As a police officer, we've got to be constantly aware and prepare and prepare. And we're working a hallway, and I'm getting that right coverage and left coverage.
Sergeant Scott goes over different strategies with the officers, from entering a building to counterterrorism measures like threat inoculation, which deal more with maintaining initiative and not getting bogged down in the chaos, and working together with different agencies. Today there are officers from the Federal Marshals, Coast Guard, and counties like Fairfax.
They have to clear this parking lot. We think there's another shooter in the parking lot. They got to come clear it. They should come through here and clear it as a team. They'll be encountered by one shooter in this parking lot. This gate will be locked, so they actually have to come up. It's going to be locked with a chain. They'll actually come up and perform an actual breach with a chain using their breachers pack that they have. Get through here and encounter another shooter back in a separate parking lot. So now we're dealing with a multiple shooter aspect on this.
In this scenario, one shooter is taken out in the parking lot, but with unknown shooters positioned throughout the parking lot and field, replicating a mall. The officers need to move together and maintain communication to accomplish their objectives.
Given a scenario where we tap into the stress, visual and audible stimuli.
As Officer Ruck points out, unless a police officer has been in the military, they often have little experience with automatic machine guns and tactical training, and often patrol officers may very well be the first to respond to a scene. If they can neutralize a gunman or a terrorist at the outset, they can save lives and prevent the attacker from gaining an advantage.
I was the squad leader, so I was coordinating the movement of all the team leaders who were directing their people during it, and I was kind of hanging back so I could see the overall objective.
Active shooter programs in Fairfax County go back to 2002, when a program was created in response to the Columbine school shooting. Today's program is modeled on the Los Angeles Police Department's program, which Officer Ruck says is the first of its kind. Fairfax Police have begun sharing their training program with other law enforcement agencies on the East Coast.
I think it went great. You could tell that they responded to training, they did what they were supposed to do, and they rescued the officer, and they got the this simulated daycare center cleared, so everything worked out well. It's repetition and just the training and having something in your hard drive, in your mind, to be able to refer back to and get it done.
For Officer Ruck, it comes down to being ready for anything.
And we want to make sure that if there's ever any type of attack like that here in the National Capital Region, we'll be prepared for it.